it's exciting. I've been in big places before in New York, but I think, this is just a great opportunity for me, and I think that obviously with the change in leadership and just other small changes that have been made, it's a great place to be right now.
When did you become aware of the opportunity for you to land in Toronto, and what was your initial reaction?
Really, pretty much when it happened is when I found out. I wasn't anticipating anything kind of happening. I kind of assumed since, it's one of the first years I was not a free agent, not on the market, that I might be quieter for me. But, sometimes things happen, usually for a reason. So I'm just excited to be here.
Do you ever get used to that side of the business, the opportunity to pick but then not have a choice?
Yeah, it's the strange part of the business for sure. I think you never get used to getting traded and moving from one house to the other, and the side of it that people don't really see. But you also understand that's definitely part of the business, and hopefully it ends up being good for me, good for Toronto, and usually works itself out.
You played with Landry Fields in New York. Did he reach out to you at all?
He did. Yep. He told me he was going to tell me all the good places to eat and where to live and everything. So it's good to have obviously a few familiar faces when you show up somewhere. So I think I'll be seeing him tonight or tomorrow, and he's a good friend, so he'll be able to kind of guide me, I think, until I get settled.
How do you see yourself fitting in with this roster?
Yeah, I think, I see myself, as what I do. I know I'm a floor spacer. I shoot the ball and, give guys, room to work, that are more interior players, big men or slashers, and I think, that's very much the makeup of the Raptors. I think, Rudy can shoot it, but he definitely is a slashing guy that with space, I think, can operate better, and the same with, Kyle at point guard and the big men here. I think it's my job to space the floor and give those guys, make sure they don't get double teamed.
Have you had the opportunity to speak with Coach Casey yet?
I have. I played for him when he was an assistant in Dallas, so we're familiar, and our families know each other. So it was great when I found out I was coming here, and thought about it and said, oh yeah, Coach Casey's the coach there. So just a smart coach. We spoke right away, and I look forward to playing for him under him as a head coach.
What's your impression of this team? Do you see a lot of potential in a young team?
Yeah, I think potential really is the word. I think you see the team, and we're not like an extremely veteran team. Last year when I was in New York, it was an extremely veteran team, and I think this is an up and coming, a team with potential. And obviously there's new leadership and a lot of changes, so I don't think anybody really knows exactly what it is yet, but I think there should definitely be a lot of excitement.
There wouldn't seem to be a lot of competition for your skill set on this roster. Does that make you feel comfortable as opposed to what maybe would have transpired in New York last year?
It's hard to say competition, because there's always only 5 spots out there, and even though maybe there's not the exact same skill set of another guy, I'm a 3-4 man, and whether I shoot the ball or maybe Tyler Hansborough doesn't necessarily shoot it, but we're going to definitely share minutes. So I think that you just have to go out there and show the coaches and the management that what you do is valuable, and hopefully they go your way for some good minutes.
Looking around the league and some of the records that were broken last year in terms of three-point shooting, there seems to be more of an emphasis on that shot nowadays in the league. What do you attribute that to, and how do you see the league changing in that regard?
Yeah, the three-point shot has been something that I think since it was implemented has had a huge impact on the game. I think if there wasn't a three-point shot, I don't think we'd have the same NBA champion as we do this year, the way this season ended. And I think it's something I've done my whole career. So I'm glad it's continuing to be more and more important, and hopefully that means some job security for me.
In your conversation with Masai, has he told you what your signing means to the bigger picture, or has he told you exactly what moves are left to be made for this group and where he's moving right now?
I'm not definitely privy to the conversations he's having with other players and that kind of thing, but definitely he said, I want you to know that this trade was something that we're excited about, and we brought you here for a reason. We think you really fit what we're trying to do, and I think at this point it really is Coach Casey's team and Masai's team, and they're building it to be what they want it to be, and hopefully we can kind of slowly start to see that take shape.
Is that a good feeling when you hear that from the general manager, that they're excited to bring you into this fold here?
Very much. I think there's definitely a lot of guys on a lot of teams that aren't sure where they stand, or maybe are a part of a team because of they were a part of a trade or something like that. But he just said, look, I'll always shoot you straight. If we're shopping you or doing this or that, I'll always tell you. And he said, and if you're going to be a big part of this team and we have a purpose for you, I'll tell you that. And that's what he said. So you appreciate just always being told the truth and what's going on.
Have you spent any time in Toronto prior to this, or is this sort of a whole new experience it's for you?
Really, just road games when I was on other teams, and you know, it's known around the league amongst the players. It's a great city to be in, and as soon as the word about the trade came out, everybody started texting me saying, "What a great city! You know, I have friends there," or that kind of stuff. So no one's really said one bad word about it, and I've always had a good time here. So.
I know the situations are different. He's later in his career as opposed to you, but Marcus has kind of made it known he loves the city, but he might not want to be at this stage of his career. Have you just talked to him at all, or kind of your thoughts on his sort of stance as a part of this deal? Yeah,
I spoke to him right when our names were both thrown. You know, when it was still kind of unofficial, I called him and said, you know, what are you hearing? And you know, you have to respect a guy who's 39 years old and has been through it, and obviously has played here, so he knows exactly what Toronto is. And you know, he's a guy who said, look, it's either a championship team in his mind, or he's going to, maybe hang it up. Yeah. So, a guy like that, you can't question the elders in this league, and he's been my vet a few times, so I better just let him do what he wants to do.
Have you had a conversation with Quentin regarding his intentions?
I have not. I know he was excited definitely to come. I spoke to a friend of his who said he was, pumped to be a part of it and pumped to be coming to Toronto, but that was really it.
What do you think about the division?
You've been in the league now, wow.
I mean, with the improvements the Nets made, and obviously the Knicks, and let alone the conference overall.
Yeah, it's a heck of a division when you think, like you said, New York and Brooklyn obviously are the names thrown out there, but I think Toronto is kind of a team that's unknown how good we can be right now. So, we'll let things kind of run its course, and we understand that we need to become a playoff team. We need to get into the playoffs, and once you do, anything can happen in the playoffs. So that's, I think, my mindset at this point going in.